Yo, what's going on, people? This is Shok. Just wanted to give my impressions on the Classic Controller Pro. I wanted to make sure, I had an extended period of time, with the controller before I gave my final verdict and, review on it and whatnot. So, firstly, let's start with the shape and, how it feels, things like that. Obviously, shaped a lot like the 360 controller, both, looking at the front and the back and even on the sides. So, of course, that's going to end up, the controller feeling a lot like the 360 controller. So, basically, if you like the way the 360 controller feels, you're going to like the way this controller feels, pretty much. The shoulder buttons, I like the way ZL and ZR are shaped, but I don't like the way they feel. And what I mean by that, of course, is when you actually press them. I like, I like their shape. I like the, the little hook they got there at the bottom or whatever. But when you press them in, like they just feel like really, kind of cheap. Like Nintendo could have done a better job, with the triggers. And for those of you who may not know, of course, these are digital triggers. These are not analog. So I know that may suck, for a lot of you guys who, love digital, analog triggers. L and R, they're a little bit better than these buttons, but again, they feel just a tad bit cheap as well, and I think Nintendo did a better job. And they're not bad or terrible or anything like that. Their shoulder buttons, not that big of a deal. They have this nice soft feel to them, but at the same time, it's kind of this cheap kind of plasticky, kind of feel. To the face buttons and everything. Holding the controller like this actually feels, really natural. A lot of people had a concern about, having two, control sticks at the very top. But when you put your hand, like the first time you put your hands on the controller like this, and you put both thumbs on both sticks, it feels really natural. It actually feels really, really good. The sticks have, they're not really that loose and they're not really that tight. They're kind of, kind of in between. The clicks, because these both click, of course, they feel really good. Now, like I said, when you have it like this feels really good, especially in the fact that when you have both thumbs up here, it's actually a lot more comfortable for your index fingers, for hitting the trigger buttons. So for shooters, it's an awesome layout. But the problem is that, when you're playing a shooter, especially like one like Call of Duty that you play on other consoles, when you got to reach down here for everything, it takes a lot of getting used to when you're pressing them, constantly. You see what I'm saying? We're using both sticks, going from this stick, this stick to the buttons. It takes some getting used to. Now, it's not a deal breaker. It's not something that make me say, oh, I don't want to play this game with the Pro controller because the layout's down there. Again, it's just something different. Oh, because something is different, that doesn't mean it's bad or anything like that. But yeah, it's definitely functional. I played some, Black Ops, and I've gotten almost pretty much 100%, used to reaching down there, for my reloading and switching weapons and, crouching or whatever. So, I'm good. I'm almost there to where it feels, completely natural. When you reach down here, when you're playing fighters, with the D-pad and the face buttons, they feel a little bit too close to each other. I wish they were spaced out, just a little bit. But it still feels, really good just having, the D-pad right here and the face buttons, right across from each other. It's just perfect for fighters. The D-pad, I'm glad to report, it's not sharp like the controller Pro for the Wii. Because you guys know that D-pad was really sharp and just tight. This one is a lot more, softer, and the edges aren't as, sharp and whatnot. So, it's not gonna. This D-pad isn't really gonna bruise your thumb, too badly if you're playing, fighters for an extended period of time. So yeah, that's it for the buttons and the shape and everything. As you can see, that's the sync button right there. That's the screws that you can take out. You can actually, get a battery replaced just in case. And yes, it does charge via USB. A lot of you guys were asking about that in the last video. And yeah, you can charge it on your PC, by the way. And of course, people are going to come out with programs and drivers or whatever, so you could use this on your PC. So PC gamers, this is another controller you guys could use if you just want something different. So there it is, and as you can see, indicators which controller you are. Just for size comparison purposes or whatever. There's the Pro controller and the 360 side by side. Pretty much the same size, except the ridge at the bottom of the Pro controller is a little wider than the ridge at the bottom of the 360 controller, as you guys could probably tell right there. And 360 controller is a little bit, more narrow coming at the top right there than the controller Pro is. But yeah, like I said, if you like the 360 controller, you'll like this controller. For some people, this controller may be a little bit light. It's not like feather light, but it's a little bit light. But it still has a bit of weight to it. But I noticed that it was kind of light for a controller. But yeah, that's my review for the Controller Pro, people. My final verdict is it's a good controller once you get used to everything. Don't like the shoulder buttons, like I said, but everything else is pretty much spot on and fine. You just have to adjust to this, you know, adjustment down there. But that's basically it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Look forward to more Wii U content, and I'll see you later.